opportunities are more accessible than ever before. Because I think when you're coming from a Web 2 background, you really agree with me that launching a product on Web 2 is harder than Web 3. How was your journey in Web 3 to this point? Perhaps you should start with that. How was my journey? My journey was not straightforward because I think most of the people, everyone doesn't have their journey straightforward. So I would say I come from a background of, I didn't come from a background of tech, but I really had the love and the enthusiasm for tech. So I came from a Web 2 background whereby play around with different technologies, play around with a few stuff as you can. But my transition to Web 3 came in, I think it was 2021, 22, whereby I think I was playing around with Bitcoin, and I had the questions of how Bitcoin works, and I wanted to understand how you could program on Bitcoin, because I think most of the technologies that we use, you can build on top of it. I think most every tech has a platform. So through the idea of trying to see how I can build, if I can even code Bitcoin, that is how I got exposure to the world of Web3, whereby I think it was Ethereum, and I saw what smart contracts were, and I began teaching myself slowly by slowly. Then I came to realize about the Web3 community of Uganda. I think that was in 2022. I think it was the Blockchain Dev Fest. I think it was in Motive there. So I had to come in, I had to see, I met up with a few people and built a network, and that is how I jumped into Web3, especially in the community and development side. Thank you very much. That's an inspiring history. So from the far that you've come, I'm sure the ecosystem has been evolving, and up to this point, the far that you've come, can you say the opportunities in Web3 are more accessible? Is that something that we can say is true about the ecosystem? Yeah, definitely. Definitely, the opportunities are more accessible than ever before, because I think when you're coming from a Web 2 background, you really agree with me that launching a product on Web 2 is harder than Web 3, because I think when you're launching a product, there are a lot of moving parts that you need to consider. In Web 2, they will ask you for numbers, they will ask you for the business model, they will ask you for the revenue, they will ask for the traction, to even get some sort of funding. Because you can agree with me that building requires some sort of resources. So if you're building from scratch, at least you need to have some bit of resources to put into the table, even if it's not a lot, but you need to have something. So to get that head start in Web 2 is very difficult. In Web 3, it's very possible. There are grants. So one thing that I thought that we really relied on when we were building in Web 3 were these grants from these chains and the hackathons. So it was easy in terms of resource wise, because one thing you could show is proof of work. You could show proof of skill. If you've crafted your idea properly, these chains will be able to endorse you, to give you a grant, to give you a hackathon, and this will push your product to production level already. So yeah, I think the resources are easy, and the opportunity is there, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. I think now for more specific, for someone that is trying to join Web3, and their goal is not be a product founder, what are the particular career
area definitions would you say exist? Someone that wants to make a transition and utilize the opportunities in Web3 as a new industry, as a new ecosystem.
Yeah, that's a very good question, because one thing that the misconception that we have these days is for you to benefit in Web3, you either have to be a trader or you have to be a founder or with a product, which I don't think is true, because I think as a new industry, it comes with a lot other few sectors that really need positions, like, educating, tutoring, content creation. We've seen a lot of people who are making a good career around social media. If you can talk about Lisk very well, if you can blog around Lisk very well, if you can contribute to the Lisk documentation very well, those are very clear opportunities. And when you go through most of these DAOs, you'll see that not only grants that are technical are getting funded, there are other grants that are getting funded that are not even non-technical. Someone wants to go to, for example, there's a grant that I saw one time whereby there was a lady who was going to educate Web3 in a village. I think she was Nigerian. She was going in some village and she was asking for a grant to give her accessibility of educating the farmers in the village. And it was approved. That is non-technical. You get so you just have to have an open mind. And if you're a designer, I think you have a great opportunity. If you're a technical writer, technical writers is also another field that has a lot of potential, because most of these chains really need improved documentation, improved writing skills, stuff that can make the developers easy. And most of the time, you don't even have to be a developer to write this stuff. So your skill set gives you the best slot that you want. If you're good in community management, then you can become a community lead. So it is a community driven field that suits everyone with any skill. Yeah.
Very much. That's very enlightening information, and I think it would very more people in the ecosystem. They understand the purpose of this, the real essence of it.
Yeah.
So, as we close, any last words you would love to say to anyone, whether they're getting into the ecosystem right now, actually people that are just getting into the ecosystem, how would you recommend they go on this journey more effectively?
Yeah. Any last words is we are still early. We are still early. If you do not believe that we are still early, you can just move out right now randomly and find someone randomly on the road and ask them about Web3, and you see what the biggest percentage will say. So most of the people out there don't know what Web3 is. So you being in this circle, exploring the technology, building on top of it, these are the biggest opportunities that you have, and you can always build something that can transform, the world around you. So just keep building. The opportunities are there. We are all still figuring it out. Even the people that work closely with these technologies, they're also still figuring stuff out. So don't put pressure on yourself. Just keep an open mind, because you're going to learn and unlearn a lot of stuff. But regardless, keep building, and yeah, keep around the space. You will make it through. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.